Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing the mid-year check-in for books. I'm so excited. I watched a lot of videos on this and I am using the standard questions, but I'm also adding some of Katie's questions that were used in Rachel's and Sarah's videos. So I will tag all three of those videos below, but I'm so excited to get to this video. I want to start off with checking in with my reading journal and then all the goals that I had for this year. So I did do a goals page. So I have my reading goals right here on this page, and my goal this year was to read 50 books. I am 29 books towards my reading goal, which is, according to Goodreads, 5 books ahead of schedule, which I'm like, okay, 50 books, we're gonna do this year. Read a classic, which I have yet to do. Listen to self-help books, which I've been trying to listen to one each month, and so far that's going well. I haven't listened to one the past 2 months though, so I need to kind of reevaluate that and hopefully start listening to some soon. Read a new author, which I've definitely already done that this year. I read, let's see, who have I read? I read Alice Osman, I read Sarah Adams, both of them 2 new authors to me, also Lisa Jewell, so I'm definitely hitting those authors, as well as like self-help books. I've never read anything by those authors, so I'm definitely hitting that goal. And then the last one is read my physical TBR. And the amount of books that I have accumulated this year that I did not previously own is insane. And that being said, I need to do better at reading my physical TBR. So I'm trying to hone in on that for the rest of the year. I definitely need to start reading more books on my physical TBR versus on my Kindle, listening to them, or just buying more books. So another thing we want to check in that's in the journal is the 24 books in 2024. And honestly, I feel like I've done very well for this page. Like, I feel like majority of it is filled out, and that's partially due to the fact that I've read so many of the Throne of Glass books. That's like what this whole section is over here. I've also read Check and Mate, When in Rome, One True Loves, Magnolia Parks, and The Inheritance Games. And I'm actually reading Love Theoretically right now, so I'm going to be coloring that one in soon. So far I think I've done pretty well with all of my goals for the year, but I definitely need to reevaluate some of them, and hopefully we can stick to this good pathway for the rest of 2024. Anyway, let's get into these questions. All right, I have them pulled up on my computer. So the very first question is the best book that you've read so far in 2024. I am handing that over to One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I did do kind of an in-depth reading vlog on this book, but this is definitely one of my very first 5 stars of the year. This book was just so much to me. So many feelings, like gut punches, but like also like beautiful, magical, like I love this so much feeling. Like there's so much in this book that I can relate to, that like is something that I've been thinking about constantly since I read this book, because how many like people shape us to who we are, and we can be in love with someone and we can grow with that person, but like that might not be our person forever. But it just kind of shows you how people shape and impact your life, and how you can love more than one person. And I don't know, I can't put into words how much this book has impacted me, and like I honestly think I will think about it for the end of time, and I definitely want to reread it because it just makes you feel so much, and I love that. I love it. So if you haven't read this one, please read it. The next question is the best sequel you've read so far in 2024. And when I was looking at this, I was like, I haven't really read a lot of sequels, but I did read Crown of Midnight in the Throne of Glass series. And honestly, I feel like people hate on this, and I kind of get it, because as I read like the series on and on, it keeps getting more intense, more like heart racing, more like just like so juicy, so good. But I loved Crown of Midnight. I feel like you really start to learn more about the characters in this book, and honestly I kind of loved Cole. Like, I say Cole, but it's Cale. I love him in this book. And you know what, you can hate me or you can like judge me for loving that man, but I low-key love that man. Like, he is misunderstood, and I'm rooting for him even though I hate him sometimes, okay? And I feel like this book just definitely, I don't know, something about it I really loved. And I also have Heartstopper Volume 2 as a sequel that I loved. I wanted to throw this in here because I haven't read very many series this year so far, but this one, honestly, I just finished this the other day in one sitting, and it's so adorable, so cute. It had me smiling. Like, they're just so boyfriend. They're so adorable, and I love them. It's something like cute, fluffy, lighthearted, and I really enjoy this, so you should definitely read the series too, because it definitely surprised me this year. Okay, new releases that I haven't read yet, but I need to. First off is Funny Story by Emily Henry. There's a reason why I'm putting this one off, because Emily Henry is one of my favorite authors ever, and I'm so scared to read this book because I'm worried that it's not going to be amazing and everything that I anticipated. And then I'm also scared, I'm like, I won't have another Emily Henry book for like who knows how long. So that's why I've been putting this one off, but like, I need to read it. Also, Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is something that when she announced this book, I was like, yes, I'm gonna eat this up and I can't wait for it, but for some reason I haven't gotten around to it, so definitely need to read this. Another one, I don't have a physical copy, but it is Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. I read the first book in the series last year, and it was my favorite book by Lauren Asher, so I definitely want to get my hands on this new one because I'm loving this series so far, and I'm excited to see if she can make me like a single dad trope. We'll see. Next one is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have 3. My number 1 is Daydream by Hannah Grace. I love that series so much. Icebreaker, Wildfire. I love that Hannah Grace does not do a 3rd act breakup. That is incredible to me. And we're getting, what is his name? Henry? It's not Henry, is it? I should know this since I love the series, but we're getting a character that I've been waiting for his book to kind of see what he's about. Plus, the girlie is wearing the Taylor Swift cardigan, so like, what's not to adore already? Second book is not like the movies, like Lynn Painter. I loved better than the movies, and I'm so excited to see what this one's about because I love Lynn Painter as well. And then last one is The Pairing by Casey McQuesson. I have loved every single book that I've read by that author, and I'm really intrigued by the plot of this book, so I'm looking forward to that one as well. Next question is Biggest Surprise, and I ended up listening to this audiobook. It's None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, and this was a surprise to me because I usually don't love adult thriller books. I tend to find them they drag on a lot to me. They're boring, they're slow, and the plot twist is just not crazy to me. But listening to this one, oh my gosh, this book is insane. I made my mom read it. I immediately like called my mom. I'm like, Mom, you need to read this book. You need to listen to the audiobook because the audiobook is unmatched. You have this like part in the audiobook where it's a podcast where it's actually like someone else reading it, and it's an actual podcast that's in the book, but it sounds so much like a real recorded podcast. It's so cool. They have like background noises. Oh my gosh. I love the audiobook, and this is another book that I'm just gonna think about forever because you get to the end and you question like your whole entire life. And this is why like I immediately called my mom. I'm like, Mom, read this book so I have someone to talk to about it. So I was so surprised because usually I don't love adult thrillers, but that book, oh my gosh, so good. Favorite new author, debut, or new to you? I would have to say Alice Osman. I haven't read a lot of new authors this year, but definitely this woman right here. I'm loving this graphic novel. I'm loving these boys. I'm loving everything about it, and I can't wait to read more of them. Next question is newest fictional crush. I'm laughing because I wrote down my answers on this like Word doc, and I'm just like, why am I like this? So, Dorian Havillard. I love that man. I'm just thinking about what he said to Manon, and he was like, what color do you want me to bleed? And I'm just like, I put, and maybe, like I spelled maybe that way, Gale Westfall. And I'm back on my tangent. Like, I low-key love him. He is problematic and he is awful sometimes, like most of the time, but I kind of love him. And also I'm gonna shout out my girl, Aelin Galathynius. Love that woman. No other female main character like is her. Next question is books that made you cry. I pulled Emperor of Storms for this one, and feel like Kingdom of Ash is gonna make me cry. Like if I did this at the end of the year, I'm so scared, and that's another question. We'll get to that, but definitely Emperor of Storms. These books, like you just get so attached to these characters, and even like the moments that are just like so beautiful and happy make you want to cry. And I feel like that's when I think about this book, that's kind of one of those moments. I'm just like That's so magical. I love it. Books that made you happy. I feel bad because I'm bringing it up again, but Heartstopper, like, I'm sorry, I can't not bring it up. Also, let me just shout out Throne of Glass series because sometimes I'd be reading it and I giggle to myself because, again, there's no one like Aelin Galathynius. She makes me happy. Most beautiful book you've bought so far or received this year. This one right here. This is One Last Stop by Casey McQuesson. This is the special edition book. The front says a time, a place, a person, and it's this beautiful like purple foil, and it's a pink, beautiful book. The edges are light pink, beautiful, my brand, and then you have the sneakers on the back, and then wait for it. This is the inside cover. Like, oh my god. And then the back cover. Is this not so incredible? Books like this bring me so much joy just to look at them. I just get instantly happy, and this is a dream to me. I love this book. So shout out to my mom for buying me this because I love her. The last question on the normal, like the regular questions that are just standard for this tag is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So I have Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I really want to read this because the show is coming out on Netflix August 1st, and I want to do like a comparison to the book versus movie. We have Kingdom of Ash. Yep, this big boy. I need to finish it by the end of the year. And then the last one I have is Funny Story by Emily Henry. It has to happen. I have to feel joy, and it's not a year without reading an Emily Henry book. You know what I mean? The next book questions are actually questions that Katie added to her video. I didn't do all of them, I did some of them. So the first question is, what books do you want to reread this summer? Or not this summer, but this year, but they're books that are mainly summer books to me, and that is Every Summer After and Beach Read. This one's by Emily Henry, this is by Carly Fortune. I loved this book 2 summers ago, and I want to read it again to see if I love it still the same. And also, it's due time for a beach read reread because I haven't read this in so long, and just I think about Gus Everett a lot, and I really want to just experience this book again on a beach, being happy, you know? I just love this book. Books I've been putting off. Okay, first off is, again, this big boy, Kingdom of Ash, because someone's gonna end up crying. Next book I'm putting off is Little Woman. I don't know why, like I want to read Little Woman so bad. I've wanted to for years, like years, but like I pick it up all the time and I try to read it, and I know that it's a classic. That's how they talked back in that day, but something like stops me. Like I don't know, I try to read it so bad, but it's hard for me to read it. So I'm thinking maybe I'll try an audiobook. I don't know, but I need to read it. I need to stop like pushing it away. Next is Lessons in Chemistry. This is another book. I want to read this. I want to watch the show. I want to know what everyone's talking about because this was like the book of 2021 or something. So I really want to read this. And then the last one is The Nightingale. Another book that I have been too scared to read because I'm not a historical fiction girly, but I picked this up when I saw it at a book resale, like because I was like, everyone talks about how beautiful this book is. It's a 5-star. And then Sarah Crowley recently read this and she was sobbing, and I was like, if she loves it that much, maybe I do need to try it. And she talked about how she's not big in like historical fiction and everything like that, so I was like, oh, maybe I will really like it too if she still had that much emotion, that much passion for the book. So I need to read this one. The next question is a book you enjoyed with mixed reviews. So that is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. There was so much controversy about this book. So many people did not like it. They didn't feel it was YA. I still felt it was YA, and everyone was like, oh, there's too much like relationship, like sexual things. I'm like, I didn't get that from this book. I thought it was fun and it was different because it was all about chess, and it wasn't like bogged down with chess. And everything that Ali Hazelwood writes, I love so much. And this book was nothing different. Like, I was so into it that I made a post on Instagram about Taylor Swift songs that relate to not only his book, but to Mallory and to Nolan. It's just, the characters just like have so much depth to them, and it's not something like lighthearted fun. There's like more depth to this book, and I really loved it, and I don't know why people hate on it so much because I enjoyed my time and I want to see Ali Hazelwood do another YA. Series I want to finish before the end of the year, definitely Throne of Glass and then Heartstopper. 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. Okay, I have 3 on here. First off is Funny Story by Emily Henry because every single Emily Henry book I've read is like a 4 or a 5-star. Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I don't know, I just have a feeling I'm gonna eat it up, okay? And then Powerless. Everyone talks about Powerless, and I just feel like I'm also going to be one of those people that loves Powerless because me and Sarah Caroli have similar taste, and I'm just like, if she gave it a 5-star, I'm giving it a 5-star. And everyone else loves it so much. I'm like, there's no way that I can't love this book. From what I'm gathering, there's no way that I will not like it. So therefore, that's my 5-star predictions. If you want to see me reading my 5-star predictions, let me know. That could be a fun video. And then the last question is, do you think you will reach your reading goal? 100% yes. I am 5 books ahead of my reading goal, and it's going strong. I'm rooting for myself. I think I can do this. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video and listening to me talk about books for the millionth time, like just go on these tangents. I appreciate you all so much. If you want to see any of these books in an upcoming video, please let me know. And if you want to do this tag, all the questions will be below, and then also the videos that I watched before making this one will be below as well. Again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in my next one.